Hey, welcome to BreitWerks. What are we doing today? Well, much to my chagrin, we are doing a service on a GT3 RS. And I am unable to confirm with about 15 different sources of what is the actual fill capacity on a 991.2 GT3 RS. Some people say 6 quarts, some people say 6 liters, some people say 6.5 quarts. So what are we gonna do about it? Well, we're gonna use this dirty bucket to catch all the oil that we drain, and then we're gonna measure it and we're gonna see how much oil came out. So yeah, it is old school. You got probably the most technologically advanced car on the planet, road car, because I was just watching Formula One practice 2 for Abu Dhabi, but probably one of the most technologically advanced road cars on the planet, and we are going old school, baby. And yes, before you complain about my dirty bucket, that oil is going to get recycled, so it doesn't matter if the bucket's dirty, guys. But yeah, just check this thing out. We've done some GT3 undercarriage stuff before, but never to one that was this color. And I think this is the first Visoc package that we've worked on. So lots of really, really cool stuff. One of the things that I just wanted to show my old air-cooled guys, hopefully my old air-cooled guys will actually click on this video. The drop links are carbon fiber. Like, yeah. That's freaking cool. Yes, the sway bar is carbon fiber, but everybody knew that because that was the big thing on the GT3 RS.2s. But I did not realize until I put a light in there that the drop links, both in the front and the rear, are carbon fiber. And I just thought that was the bee's knees, if you will. So yeah, we're gonna get on with it. We got 3 drain plugs on this guy, the oil reserve tank, I call it the bottom of the oil pan and the front of the oil pan, as well as the oil filter. Unlike some of the other folks that have done this and posted it on the internet, we did the research to get the actual torque values and the right tools to be able to torque it. The guy who owns this car actually brought me an oil filter tool because, I don't know, it was really cool of him to do that. And yeah, so we're gonna get on with it, but boy, look at this thing. I just thought you all might appreciate the irony of the most technologically advanced road car on the planet. Screw you, Ferrari, McLaren, and Lambo. And this is how we're gonna figure out what the right answer is. Anyway, these are very cool cars. Very, very cool. I happen to personally love the stock exhaust, but I've also done, I mean, gotta be careful how I say that because I also love doing the center exhaust elites. But I mean, that's real. That's not Honda painted, you know, to look cool. That's real. Very cool. And these steamroller of rear tires, I mean, that's insane. Just would love to put those on my 930 turbo. I don't know if I make enough horsepower to turn them over though. But yep, yellow brakes, not a fan, but you know what? Some people love them, so good for them. But yeah, we're gonna get this all cleaned up, and then there's some more of that beautiful carbon fiber. I mean, Gunther Works built a whole 993 out of carbon fiber, right? But I wonder if they have carbon fiber sway bar and carbon fiber drop links, right? That's the deal. All right, we'll get on with it. We'll get this all cleaned up, and then we'll show you after it's all cleaned up. So yeah, this is what I love about 0W40 oil. This stream has steadily been coming out now for quite a while. And we're gonna let it keep coming out. And then this drip has just been going and going and going. So there's actually 4 operations here. You've got your reserve tank, you've got your bottom drain plug, you've got your front drain plug, and you've got your oil filter. And there are actually 4 different torque values. Some people think there's 2, but there's not. These 3 plugs are 3 different sizes. So there are actually a torque value here, torque value there, torque value there, and a torque value there. And no, I'm not giving those away. Some smart ass, I hope, will post the 4 different torque values in the comments, and we'll see the community helping each other out. But no, that took some energy and effort to go figure all that out. But I will show you how much oil we actually drained out of this one once we get to that point. But hey, if some entrepreneurial guy out there with a GT3, hint, hint, obsessed garage, you ought to build an oil catch pan that hits 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Not just a transmission drain pan, but something maybe triangular in shape or something cool. You stamp GT3/GT3 RS on it, and if it attaches to a Harbor Freight neck, boy, you could probably sell that for $1,000, and you'd sell them to all the GT3 RS DIY guys. All right, we're gonna get on with it, and I will stop waxing poetically. All right, so I talked about 3 different drain plug sizes. These are the ones that come out. I already actually put one of them in. I put this one, the bottom oil drain pan in. It was the first to stop dripping, so I was able to minimize my containers. But 3 different drain plugs, and the key here, the only reason I'm showing you guys this is you gotta make sure you get the 3 crush washers out. If you double up on crush washers, right, if one of them sticks and you don't realize it, it will leak. It's not gonna be a tremendous leak, but it's gonna leak. And if you take the car in somewhere and they go, oh, you double crush washered it, well, then you're, you know, kind of looking silly. But as long as you make sure you get the 3 crush washers out, these I already have the crush washers loaded on, but these are the remnants. I had to make a tool because we are going to torque this. I'll show you guys, you can torque all 4 areas, and I'll show you guys what we did to be able to do that. All right, we're gonna get on with it. All right, so here's the point where 98% of you fast forward, but when we were doing a walk around of the car, the owner's wife, who, when she retires from NASA, I'm hiring her as my quality person. She was like, hey, look at those little stones. Can you get those out? Yeah. So on this side, it's 4 screws, 4 fasteners, and it comes out. And then what I also found was inside of here was a ton of little stones. So with a little air gun, taking 1 extra fastener off, I was able to get all those out. Plus, we'll be able to properly clean the part. But yeah, so now the 98.5% of you that are like, what? I drive my car. Yeah, you drive your car, but guess what? You're driving a GT3 RS because it's a performance vehicle, right? That is unaccounted for weight, right? Now it's sprung weight, so it's not a huge deal, but all of those little things, if Porsche did stuff like get rid of hydraulic struts for the rear hatch to save grams of weight, you're driving around with stones. So you're carrying all that extra weight. Anyway, now for the other 98% who've tuned out, we'll get back on with the oil service. Okay, so we finally figured out a good use for Mobile One. The empty containers serve to let us measure oil. No, I'm just kidding. Mobile One's good in some stuff. But this car is not getting Mobile One. It's going to get Motul. 4 and 3. So we took out 7 quarts, and I let the filter drain. So 7 quarts is where we're at. And we're going to put 6.5 back in, and we're going to pre-measure out a 1/2 quart for the owner, so that way, once the car figures out where it is, and the little display will actually let him see it, he can add that 1/2 quart back if the car demands it. So totally up to the car. But 6 would be the bare minimum. We're going to go 6.5, and this is quarts, not liters. So for all of you that are out there, you wouldn't be the first ones to make a SAE versus Imperial. So 7 quarts, not liters. Okay, so I told you I would show you what we did to be able to torque all the bolts to the factory specs as opposed to just saying, yeah, that's good enough. So if these two, if you can't figure those out, don't even try to change your own oil. But this is a 10 millimeter, this is an 8 millimeter, so you need those two tools. Now for the front one, this one is an 8 millimeter, and I had a cheap set of long Allens, and really the only time I used them was pulling 944 cam towers out, because you really need that, but you need the 6. So I had all straights. So what I did was I took my Allen key, I cut off the top end, and I swapped out the straight one for the ball end. Camera doesn't really want to show you. But if you can get a long ball end, right, we're not talking about a tremendous amount of torque here, plus you got a steel drain plug, so you're not going to F this up. Upon removal, I would probably still use a regular Allen key, just because for some reason, when you torque them to the proper spec, they always feel like when you take them off, it's a lot more. But anyway, when torquing it down, this works absolutely perfectly, right? So you have a clearance issue here. My bet is that Porsche has some kind of a special tool that lets you get in there, maybe a short, who knows what. But anyway, this works perfectly. The key is the ball end versus a straight end. If you use a straight end, it will not work. And then back here on the oil filter, right? A lot of people are like, oh, we got to put a wrench on this. Sure, that's a great way to take it off. You can get a lot of leverage and great way to take it off. But when you put it on, there is a 3/8 attachment in the back of the Porsche tool. And then what I did here is I used 2 wobbly joints, right? Because your exhaust manifold's in the way, and you really want this to be as straight as possible. You don't want to put a side angle on this. So by using the 2 wobbly joints, you can get in there. Now, if you, again, somebody made a tool that was just a little bit shorter, I don't know how you'd get that shank in there, but you have kind of, no, you can't get your ratchet on there. So by using the 2 wobblies, right, not a universal, I'm sure somebody would say, oh, why didn't you use a universal? I don't know, I didn't think of it. But the 2 wobblies give you enough so that when you torque this guy down, and that one was actually written on the filter, you can get your torque value there and not just go, oh, it feels good, right? Yeah, it feels good, and then it leaks a week later. Who knows? I mean, they all could still weep. I think Porsche calls it oil sweating. But anyway, on the 2 tools, a long ball end 8 millimeter for that front. This is the front of the motor technically, for that front oil drain, and then some type of wobbly joint or something like that to be able to get in there and put your torque wrench on it. All right, so that is how we torqued them. So we are just about done under here. We're gonna hose this guy down with Bow Shield, and then we're gonna wax all the painted areas. We've already done the pearl and on the from CarPro on the plastics, but we're just gonna finish up a little bit of cleaning, and then we'll put that bottom pan back on, which also has torque values. But there you go. That was the value for sticking through my soliloquy a little bit earlier. Those are how you will do actual torques versus just kind of winging. All right, we got everything nice and cleaned up. We used Bow Shield on the aluminum parts. It's certified for aircraft. It's developed by Boeing, so we got a low-flying aircraft. Works perfect. We waxed the other metal parts. And then with the Bow Shield, if you decide to go out on the internet and buy yourself some, I always apply it to the rag. I don't spray it inside where the tire or where the brakes are, because we don't want to contaminate anything. The other thing on all of the new Porsches, this whole piece here is plastic, right? And nobody ever cleans underneath there. And if you have a coated car, be very careful using a ceramic coated car. Be very careful running your sponge under there, because you're going to pick up a lot of grit. So make sure you use a different sponge or whatever. But and we waxed the bottom. This is one of the things that I love when you're looking for originality on cars, right? You get the Schutz sealant stuff, the protectant, rock guard, whatever you want to call it, Schutz, Bilstein, whoever. But when they spray the car in this direction, right? So when they're spraying the outer panel, you get it on this side of the underpiece, but not on this side. And that's kind of how you can tell that it's all original. I mean, we know this car is all original, but if you're looking at older cars, they're the same thing. They've been doing this even on the air-cooleds. And then up here, you know, inside of the spoiler, you can do pearl in there, some type of a protectant, and it just cleans it up. And yeah, some of you are laughing, but the Italian detailers have taught me to make sure you do that type of stuff, even on German cars. So anyway, David and the boys know who I'm talking about there. But again, Bow Shield on all the aluminum components, and basically it's just going to keep everything, you know, looking good. So yeah, we got the underside all done. We're going to, it's a lot of sun. We're going to go ahead and we already got the under tray cleaned up. That's the bottom of it, or the top of it, the part you can't see. It's amazing how much crap gets stuck in there. So while the oil's draining for 45 minutes, you can get a lot of stuff done on the car once it's up in the air. All right, we're gonna get that bottom plate on, put some oil in it, and then we'll finish off this video. Putting oil in it is the boring part. If you don't know how to do that, again, don't try to do all this stuff underneath here. Just real quick, for those of you using Motul, Porsche A40 approved, it only comes in liters. So I gave you the 7 quarts, which is about 6.5, 6.6 liters. So we put 6.3 liters back in it, and we'll send the customer home with another ½ liter measured out, so that if they need to add, they can add. But yeah, that's the, except for the fact that the bottle pours like crap, and it only comes in liters. Motul's fantastic. All right, we got her fired up. Let's check our oil pressure. Cold oil, we're making 54 PSI. Fantastic. All right, and we gotta hear it. There we go. We got about 113 degrees on the, oh yeah, unreal. Way too cool. Too cool for school. 2,116 miles. All right. Well, we're good. And I believe we were able to reset. Yeah, we won't see that. We were able to reset service interval. Fantastic. And it stayed. Good, good, good. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. If you like this video, click the subscribe button. And yes, I'll zoom in over there. It is the Weissach edition. And I think this was our first Weissach. We've done a couple GT3 RS things, but with the carbon hood, all the cool stuff. Yeah. Water pumper, Wasser pumper, that's the WP. What a cool car. Just a neat color, a neat spec, and it's taken care of like a baby. Not even like a baby, I don't even know what you would call it. It is definitely cared for. All right, again, thanks for watching. Have a fantastic day.